everyone, I'm Devin.
I'm Parker.
And we are the Egan family. And today we have an absolutely ridiculously large book outlet haul to share with you.
Right there.
So if you're new to our channel, this is not our first book outlet haul. And if you are new to book outlet, then here are some of the details for you. It's exactly what it says it is. It's an outlet shopping experience for books online. You go to the website, you get discounted deals on books. Most of them were like overstocked in big box stores. So when you do order them, something to note is they do normally have a little dot on the pages or some very small cosmetic damage to them, which is why they are discounted so much. I just like to mention that though, in case you are shopping for gifts. For us, that doesn't matter, but it is something you want to keep in mind. And if you go online using our reference or our reference code in the description box, you will get $10 off your first book outlet purchase of $25 or more. But you'll probably want to spend at least $35 because then shipping is free and we all love free shipping. On top of that, you will also receive your own referral code to share with your friends and family. And also the great thing about Book Outlet is even though the prices are already really reasonable, they have sales and specials all the time. They frequently have 30% off of their entire site. And with the sale that we took advantage of was a buy two, get one free sale. Also, if you hear any noises, like always, we have the two little girls here. Will is giving them a bath upstairs.
Yes.
And Emery's pretending to be a mermaid. So I can hear the water running and I can hear her making a lot of noise. So I'm sure that you will be able to hear some of that. Yeah, there it is again. And also disclaimer, this is the third time we filmed this intro. And the second time we filmed the intro, we filmed the entire video. Parker went to sleep. I uploaded the footage to the computer. I went to go and edit it. And the camera, I filmed on my phone and the camera had like my phone had fallen to the side. And it also was like zooming in and out of focus the entire video. And it was a 40-minute long video, obviously with things I had to trim out. But so just know if we like rush through some of this, maybe it's the third time we're talking about all these books and there are 47 books to talk about. In this haul, most of them are chapter books. I think there's only one picture book. And most of them are read aloud ideas, and they're not all things that we will get to obviously this homeschool year. But we read aloud a lot as a family. We're also reading through the Harry Potter series. We are currently on book 5. And we are looking for something to take the place of that when we complete that series. So most of these that you'll see are like fantasy, magical realism. They have to do with a magical school. There's dragons. And there are some exceptions to that, but that is the majority. I think that's all the disclaimers. As always, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and follow Parker's channel, Parker's Playground. All of that information is always down below. We appreciate you more than you know.
Benny.
Our cat is always trying to join in. So let's get right into this haul because like I said, isn't it a big one, Benson? It's a big haul. That's right, baby. It's a big haul. Okay, so I'm not going to give too much description about the stories because there are 47 of them. If there's anything that you have a question about, you would like to see closer, you would like the full synopsis of, let me know. I will show you what damage is done to the book, if there is any, or what markings. And like I said, if you have any questions, let us know. Parker, would you like to start?
Yes. First up, we have the scary stories to tell in the dark. Sorry, Benson's on me. Benny.
If you are an 80s or a 90s baby like I am, you will absolutely know this series. There are 3 books in this. There are 3 books in total in this series, and this is the first one. It is a collection by Alvin Schwartz, illustrated by Brett Hellquist. And there's tons of short stories, songs, Some are funny, some are spooky, some are a little gross.
Like Big Toe.
Yeah, Parker has already been.
The only one I've read was Big Toe.
Yeah. So there's all kinds of different stories in here, if that's something that interests you. Our next book that we'll be sharing is called Dragonborn, and it's by Toby Forward. And it says, a boy who is a wizard, a dragon who is almost family. So once again, dragon, and it's a traditional chapter book. Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell you that this is the damage that it's on the scary stories, and a tiny bit up on the top left hand or right hand corner, or left hand now. On that one, and this one, the cover is in perfect condition, and it just has that little mark there. So that's what I mean. Here, Emery. That's what I mean by like a mark on the pages. There's normally like a line or a dot of some sort. And most of these books that we got, I think, were around the $2 mark.
Yeah.
And we had free credits, and we took advantage of the buy two get one free sale. All right, Park, you're next.
My next one is called The Legend of
Gremulax. Now this one, I don't know if it's appropriate for him. If anybody watched The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt on Netflix, it is the story that Kimmy writes, and it talks about like masculinity, femininity, and like the lines between the two, and when things can get toxic. And it's meant as a teaching tool in the book or in the TV show. So it's written as that story, which is supposed to be appropriate for kids, but the TV show is not appropriate for kids. So I will be reading this one first. But I had to get it because we loved Kimmy Schmidt. I hear Emmy. The next book we have is by Jennifer Lynn Alvarez, and it's The Riders of the Realm Across the Dark Water. She's laughing. I don't know what it talks about on the back. Giants and Pegasi and all sorts of fun fantasy things. And this one has a line on the bottom. Oh, I keep forgetting. The Legends of Gremulax has absolutely nothing wrong with it. There's no lines, no damage, no nothing. Perfect condition. Yep, perfect condition.
This is called Pluto is peeved, no damage.
An X-Planet searches for answers. There is actually a tiny bit of damage right there on the actual cover. No lines or anything. It's not. This is our one picture book. It's written like graphic novel, comic book style. And it's about Pluto searching for answers, why he's no longer a planet. And then there's real, like, more scientific information in the back that's not comic book style. The next one we have is The Revenge of Magic by James Riley. It says, magic has returned in spell books dug up around the world. And then I'm not sure what happens from there. It looks like a big fantasy adventure book. This author has 2 other series that are, I guess, pretty popular. And this is the damage on that one. Just that tiny little line.
My next one is this one. It looks like it has a rainbow shield on it.
Oh, it kind of does.
It's called the Firefly Coat.
By Megan Fraser Blakemore.
I don't know anything about it but the back.
Yeah. Most of these I bought because the cover was pretty. I did the bad thing, and I did judge a book by their cover, but they look beautiful. From what I understand, this one is like everything is just normal. It's about a utopian society, and then a new girl moves in and makes them question everything that they believed was true. That's what this one's about. And this one is regular chapter book, no pictures, but look at how gorgeous. This is on the beginning of every chapter, that page. All right, the next one I have to share is The Remarkable Inventions of Walter Mortensen by Quinn Sosna Spear. I'm not really sure what this one's about at all. And there is the tiny little line there. But this is what the front cover looks like. It just looked really fun. And I'm pretty sure there's a big giant adventure in this one too. Those are D's.
Oddmeyer.
Oddmeyer.
Book 1, Challenging.
No.
Changeling.
Yes. The Oddmeyer, Book 1, The Changeling by William Ritter. And this is about goblins who are trying to switch a human baby and a changeling in the ritual of the changeling. But when the night arrives, something happens and they leave both babies there. And so the babies are raised as twins. And when they get older, the one who is a changeling, they start to learn their true identity is that one was a changeling and what that means for them for their future. Emery's not happy, I think, because it's the end of bath time. So if you hear her upstairs, that's that. But like I said, just regular chapter book, and this one, the line is like right over by the spine. The next one that I have to share is The Land of Never Endings by Kate Saunders. And this one, the description on the back is pretty short, so I will read this one. It says, a soft light glowed from the middle of Holly's empty bed. It came from a little tent, striped red and white, not more than knee height, and with shadows moving about inside it. Never in all her life would Emily forget the strangeness of what she saw next. Sounds fun to me.
And this one is the one.
Nope. This one is called Forever or a Long, Long Time. This one was recommended by Chantel from An Intentional Homeschool and An Intentional Life. I think those are her channel names. I think. I will link her below. She's incredible. She's like one of my favorite people to watch. She has like such a calming personality, always has great recommendations for books and for homeschool ideas. So I will link her below. I'm sure you've already heard of her, but if you haven't, check out her channel. But she recommended this one, and this deals with kids who were in foster care in the past. So this is something that I'm not sure we will read this year. He's only 6.5, so it might be something that he reads in the future. But so there's that, and this one just has that tiny little mark there. And our next book is Defender of the Realm by Mark Huckerby and Nick Osler. And it has to do with a prince who is defending the throne. He turns into the superhero, and then a girl who is just like a normal girl who kind of gets brought into this whole thing. And Parker likes this one. Why?
Because it looks like Jim from Troll Hunters. If you don't know Troll Hunters or who Jim is, which you wouldn't know Troll Hunters because of that, then go check it out. It's at Netflix.
And this one has no markings anywhere. Perfect condition. And it's a hardcover.
And if you love Troll Hunters, here's something for you. Troll Hunters Rise of the Titans is already out, so go watch that.
Somebody loves it, and his name's Parker.
This is called The Secret of Skull Island.
Secret of Skull Island by Zach Norris. And it follows twin brothers who, like, weird things happen to them everywhere they travel. And it's like a really cool adventure book, I guess. This one is more his level right now. He could probably handle this one. And there are no markings on this one at all. So if he likes this one, then it's some that we might try and look up more of the series. It's from the Double Detective series. My next book is Nevermoor, The Trials of Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. And it's about a girl named Morgan Crow who is born on Eventide, which is the unluckiest day in their world. And so because of that, she is fated to die before midnight on her 11th birthday. And right before that happens, a man named Jupiter shows up and takes her to a city called Nevermoor, and things, I guess, unravel from there. It looks really cool. And there are also, it says on the back, 2 more books in the series. So if we like this one, it is rather thick. But if we like this one, we will be able to check out the up 2 as well.
And there's no dents.
Yeah, there's no, that's right. There's absolutely no markings, no nothing.
Anything. Okay. My next one is called Amelia Fang and the Unicorns of
Glitteropolis.
Glitteropolis.
By
It's
Laura,
hard to say.
by Laura Ellen Anderson. And this is about a little vampire girl who despises everything cute and cuddly. And so obviously I think she's going to have some problems. Yeah, our cats are cuddling and licking each other. I think she's going to have some problems with the unicorns of Glitteropolis. And there are some really cute illustrations in here. And this is something Parker can read on his own now. And there is a little red dot on this one. But the cool thing is you can also look and see what they're marked as. This was marked from BJ's at $9.99. And like I said, we paid about $2 for it. Anywhere between $1.19 and like $2.31 is where you can like set your price parameters when you're shopping. And that's what I set them at. So nothing in this haul was more than that. Whew, we're getting through it. We did our first layer.
One more layer to go.
There we go. These two I'm going to do together. They're part of the Where Is, What Was, Who Was series. And I really thought that we didn't already have them. But now that I have them in my hands, I'm almost positive that we do have them.
We have the Underground Railroad.
Oh, well, Parker just ruined that. I'm joking.
We don't have the White House.
You ruined what? It was my turn. Just picking on you. So yes, Parker is right. We have the, what was the Underground Railroad and Where Is the White House? We don't know if Parker is pretty sure that we have this one.
Yeah,
And I can't remember if I just think that because I know we have the Sojourner Truth one. So I think that her image on the front of her book is the same. I'm not sure. We'll have to look. If these are duplicates, we paid $1.19 for them or got them free for the deal. So we will pass these along to someone else.
I'm positive we don't have that one and we
Cool.
have this one.
All right. Well, I'll believe him. All right. Go ahead, bud. Your turn.
Okay. My next one is The Wizard of Oz.
By L. Frank Baum, of course. Why did I buy this one?
What?
Why did I buy this one? Do you know?
Because you don't have the front of it and it's a new one.
I collect copies of Wizard of Oz. This one did come a tiny bit damaged on the front. It's no big deal. And it does have a tiny little red dot, but look how beautiful that cover is. Love the Wizard of Oz. Love it. Okay. The next one is a classic that I read, I think, in 6th grade, maybe. And it's The Children of the Longhouse by Joseph Bruchac. I think that's how you pronounce his name. But it's essentially, if you've never read it, it's about a Mohawk boy who is having a lot of trouble because he did something that he thinks was the right thing. It caused him to create a lot of enemies, and now he has to kind of prove himself. And it also centers around the traditional version of what we would know as lacrosse. So it has a lot of like traditional language in here, which is really good to introduce. And just, I don't know, I remember really loving the story, and I think it's really important to stock up on classics. Like I said, don't know if we will read this year, or if these are just nice to have on hand, especially when you can get them for less than $2. So that is the front of this one, and this just has a tiny little dot on the bottom. All right, Parker's turn.
My next one is Abracadabra, Give Me a Booka. This book. This is called A Box of Bones.
And it is by Marina Cohen. And this is about a very serious girl named Callie. She doesn't like nonsense. She doesn't like anything like that. And so when her grandpa makes her go to the Festival of Fools, she's not too impressed by that. And while she's there, there's a faceless man who gives her a wooden box full of puzzles and things like that. And she ends up opening the box and something gets let out. And we don't know what that something is. but it sounds like it would be a really good adventure. There's the front of that, and this one has absolutely no markings, no damage, no nothing. Perfect condition. This one is The Tragical Tale of Birdie Bloom by Tamara Belts. Tamara Belts?
We don't know.
Sure. This is about a little girl who is an orphan, and she comes in contact with a witch. And so the meeting, they are sure that the meeting of these two people is predestined to be terrible, but they are determined to rewrite their stories and their endings. So it sounds like they have to work together in order to achieve that. We love books that feature really quirky, strong females, and we love good stories about people stepping out of the role that's expected for them.
Teddy Mars, almost a world record breaker. I don't know how far he got to being a world record breaker because it only says almost a world record breaker.
And this is by Molly B. Burnham, and it says, Teddy's tips for record breaking. Escape from your family. Sleep in a tent if you have to. Number 2, avoid Grumpy Pigeon Man at all costs. Number 3, lock up the Destructor, which you find out is his little brother in the rest of this. So it talks about how he has to how to try and beat his world record while dealing with his 5 older sisters and his younger brother. And there are little cute illustrations in the margins. So that one looks a lot like a lot of fun. The next one we have here is Miss Ellicott's School for the Magically Minded by Sage Blackwood. And this one I don't know anything about, but it is about a magical school, and that is obviously something we love. The cover, once again, looks super adorable with those kids on the bridge. I don't know. They just all look really cute marching along on that bridge. Magical school. Sounds like a good time. Your turn, honey.
My next one is The Book of Dares for Lost Friends
By Jane Kelly.
That is cursive, so I'm actually proud of myself.
Good job, honey. This is about, there's 2 girls who have been friends forever, and you know they think that's never going to change. They get into middle school, something happens, the girls start to drift apart, and when one of the girls meets a boy who lives in a strange bookshop, they embark on a quest to be able to bring the 2 girls back together. So
I thought it was a cat that leads somewhere.
There is a stray cat that leads the girl to the boy in the book. So good remembering that.
And then the boy leads to the
quest. Yeah. I read all the synopses aloud to Parker, so I'm proud of you. Remember that. There's a cute little cat on the cover too.
I thought there was a witch involved.
There may be. We'll see. The next book that we have is The Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Graham. An absolute classic about our friends Mole and Ratty and Badger, Mr. Toad, and all of the things that happen on their adventures together. This was just a really sweet looking cover. I love all of them pictured on the blanket there and the beautiful leaves on the borders. And this is a classic that we didn't have. So once again, who knows when we'll get to reading this, but we have it on hand when that time comes.
Okay, my next one is called Time Castaway in the Mona Lisa Key. Mona Lisa is actually a very famous painting that costs more than a diamond.
And this is by Liesl Shirtliff. And this one is about 3 siblings who live in New York City, and they don't really have very many rules. Their parents don't really give them many rules. But the one rule that they have is to never, ever, ever enter the subway without an adult. And something happens one morning on their way to school, and they're forced to break that rule. And when they do, they are transported back in time to 1911, and they have to help try to save the Mona Lisa from theft. It sounds like a really cool, fun adventure, family, siblings coming together. We have 3 kids in our family, so that was really appealing And the cover looks really fun on the ship.
And it looks really exciting.
It sure does. And this one does have the little mark. I haven't been showing you, but most of them only have this little mark. And the reason I recognize this one is the back cover was folded just that tiny little bit. So no big deal. The next book that we have is another classic. It's Robin Hood by Henry Gilbert. We all know the story of Robin Hood, I'm sure. Once again, when you find classics like this, you scoop them up if you can get a good deal on them. So this is one I just wanted to have on hand for our personal library as well as homeschool.
August
Isle
by
Allie Standish. And it's about a girl who, her mother used to spend summers in a town called August Isle in Florida. And so the girl wants to go. But when she gets there, some creepy stuff starts happening. It sounds like there's a lot of mysteries, a haunted lighthouse. And then a whole bunch of things start creeping out from her mother's past. And so I'm not sure what happens after that, but we will find out. And like I said, a lot of these books I will be reading before Parker does or before I read them aloud just to make sure they're appropriate. So I'm not sure which ones are and aren't. The ages on the back say ages 8 to 12, so I'm sure it's not horrible, but you never know. You can never be too careful.
2 years from now.
Yeah, but you're pretty mature, so my turn.
Oh, yeah.
Next one is Night Books by J.A. White. This one sounds really spooky. It's about a boy named Alex who's loved scary stories his entire life, and now he's trapped in one. He gets kidnapped by a witch, and the only thing keeping him alive is the fact that she loves listening to the scary stories that he writes. But the problem is he's starting to run out of ideas for scary stories to tell her. So now he has to think of a way to escape and save himself. So there's like snippets of the stories that he writes in here and also what's going on in his life. And so this one just sounded really fun. And once again, the cover is gorgeous.
This is called The Boy, the Bird, and the Coffin Maker.
The Boy, the Bird, and the Coffin Maker by Matilda Woods. And it says, in a magical town by the sea, friendship and hope take flight, and only friendship can save the day. So we don't know what that's about, but looks pretty cool. And this one, I loved when I opened it up. Like, all of the margins are super beautiful. Oh, poor Eloise. She is up there with Will, so I promise we're not ignoring her if you hear her crying. She's trying to fall asleep, so sometimes she gets a little fussy. And this one just has the ittiest little red line in the margin or on the sides. This is called Aldo's Fantastical Movie Palace by Jonathan Friesen. And from what I can understand of this one, this family owns a movie theater, and it's always been such a comfort to their family. And the daughter of the family is going through some hard times. She meets a boy who is also dealing with some struggles of his own. And when they meet, they decide to start writing a movie script. And when they do that in the family's movie theater, what they're writing comes to life on the screen, and they actually get transported to the world that they helped create when they were writing. So we don't know what happens from there. Sounds super interesting, and absolutely no damage at all on this one. No dots, no scuffs, no nothing. Perfect condition.
Okay, my next one's called Max
Tilt.
Max Tilt. 80 Days or Die.
And this is by Peter. This is by Peter Larangis. And it's the second book in a series, and it's essentially like a kid's version of Around the World in 80 Days, is my understanding. It's like kids have to go and save people who were on that journey.
Or they'll die.
Yeah, so we don't really know too much about it except for that. And we do not have book 1 in this, so we would obviously have to check that out first. But I figured Book Outlet is one of those places that when you see a good deal, you snatch it up, even if it's in a series and you don't have to whatever ones came before it. So we will definitely look for book 1 here. The next book I have is another one that is a classic that I read in school as a child. Not until I was a little bit older than Parker is, because it does deal with some heavy, heavy topics. And this is The Devil's Arithmetic by Jane Yolen, which, if you're unfamiliar with this, it's about a girl named Hannah who, during the Passover Seder, opens the door to symbolically welcome the prophet Elijah. And when she does that, she is transported to a Polish village in the year 1942, and she's mistaken for a girl who is alive during that time. And so she gets to experience firsthand some of the things that were happening in Poland during that time, during World War II and the Holocaust and everything like that. So it is a little bit darker. Obviously, very important topic to touch on at some point in his home education. Not sure if this is the correct year for it, but once again, this is a beautiful story, a classic story that is important to have in everybody's collection, or at least to expose children to. So when I found it on Book Outlet, we had to pick it up.
This is called The House with a Clock in Its Walls.
And this is by John Bellairs. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
This is about a house that has a clock inside that's gonna destroy the world.
Yeah, good memory, buddy. And it does have some pictures in here.
And the family that finds out about it, that's the only family that can stop it happening.
That's
the only family.
Good memory. And this is also now a movie starring Jack Black. And we've mentioned before that we absolutely love any book that we can tie in with a movie. We like to have family movie nights. Last year, during the lockdown, we for something exciting, we transformed our living room into a movie theater. Maybe if I can remember, I'll insert some pictures here so you can see what happened. And so it was just a really nice way for us to surprise Will when he got home from work, and for us to celebrate a little bit as well. Okay, we have like 10 left. We're trying. Okay, next one is The Bone Garden by Heather Kastner. Parker doesn't want to do any more of these. So we don't know anything about this one. It kind of looks spooky, and I don't know. We kind of like spooky in this family, so that is why we got that one. And this one has a little dot here. The next one we have is called The Littlest Bigfoot by Jennifer Weiner. I'm not sure how she pronounces her last name. There is a little mark down here. And this one is about a girl who finds a little Bigfoot child, or little Bigfoot person. And they kind of are helping each other. The girl doesn't fit in, the Bigfoot doesn't fit in, and also there's like something that's happening between the two worlds. So these two have to work together to help fix that. So that one looked fun. Then we have The Camelot Code, The Once and Future Geek by Mari Mancusi. And this one is about a young Arthur of Camelot accidentally time travels to the 21st century and Googles himself. He finds out that his future, while in the very short future, is bright. Beyond that is a little bit not so happy for him, with his best friend stealing his girl and what happens after that. And so he is determined not to return to the past. And there are a bunch of gamers who can work with codes, and they are determined to send him back because they know that they can't change the past in order to have the future that they have now. So it deals with a lot of that. It sounds really kind of nerdy and kind of fun. So that's definitely up our alley. Nerdy fun is definitely up our alley. If you hear Eloise, I'm really sorry. Parker decided he no longer wanted to be in the video, and that's always fine. He never has to be in a video he doesn't want to be in. So I'm going to continue this last little bit by myself. And the next book that we have is from the Enchanted Files. It's called Cursed, and it's by Bruce Coville, and it's about, all right, I'm going to read the back of this one because this one's really cute. It says, meet Angus. Angus is a brownie. Don't even think about calling him an elf. Angus has a tiny bit of a temper problem, so when an ancient curse binds him to the world's messiest kid, watch out. And this is a series as well. There's Cursed and Hatched. I don't know what that one's about, but it looks really fun. This one is called In a Darkling Wood by Emma Carroll, and it deals with fairies. That's pretty much all. Oh, and that they want to chop down the woods that the fairies are in. There's a struggle with who to believe and what's real and what's not real, and it just sounded like a really fun story. This next book is called Wishing Day by Lauren Miracle, and it's it says, on the third night of the third month after her 13th birthday, every girl in the town of Willow Hill makes 3 wishes. The first wish is an impossible wish. The second is a wish she can make come true herself. And the third is the deepest wish of her family, of her secret heart. And then it's after this girl, Natasha, makes her third wish, something crazy happens. And I guess there's once again adventure and a whole bunch unfolds from there. We don't know what happens. The cover, once again, is beautiful. And there's a tiny little mark on the bottom. This next book is The Remarkable, or just Remarkables by Margaret Peterson Haddix. And it's about a girl who moves to a new town. And when she's there, she finds 3 teenagers who are there one minute and disappear the next. And so she's very confused about what is happening. And she ends up meeting a boy named Charlie, who reluctantly tells her that he refers to these kids as the Remarkables, and that if she was smart, she would stay away from them, and she would also stay away from him too. So apparently this town has a lot of secrets. This one has that small little mark, and it was folded just that itty bitty little bit on the bottom there. So once again, nothing big. This next one is also a book that is based on a movie. It's called The Willoughbys by Lois Lowry. The movie's on Netflix if you want to check it out. It's about 4 children who belong to probably the world's most ridiculously awful parents. Neglectful, I guess we should say. They're the most neglectful parents. And so they come up with a plan to get their parents to go away. And the parents also come up with a plan to get rid of their kids. And as that happens, a whole bunch of things unfold. There's some comedy, there's some serious matter. And then it kind of shows you that while family is important, family is not always the one that you are born into. Sometimes it's the family that you choose, or the family that chooses you when you need them the most. So it's a really good message. Really horrible parents. So if that's something that you can't deal with, I know it's very hard to read and watch as a parent, movies and books with really horrible parents, but we will say that there are redeeming qualities to this story, at least the movie. I've never read the book. This book is called The Rambling, and this deals with like a magical card game, and that's pretty much all I know. Kind of gave me some like Magic or Dungeons and Dragons vibes, but like real life, I don't know. So it sounds fun. My husband's really into that sort of thing. So I feel like even if I don't love this book, this is something that he will really enjoy reading with Parker. It's getting super dark. There's only 4 left. Let's do this. We got this. We got this. Aliens Ate My Homework, another classic by Bruce Coville. It's about a boy named Rod who always tells the truth. And so when he comes to school one day and says that the reason that he doesn't have his math assignment is because aliens ate it, people are very shocked by that because obviously Rod always tells the truth. So why would he be lying? But maybe he's not lying. We have to read and find out. Fun. The next one is also a classic, The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. And I'm sure most of you know the story of Mary Lennox, an orphan who is sent to live with her grumpy uncle. She finds a secret garden and she's determined to bring it back to life, which, also does a lot for the relationship with her uncle. Her uncle as a person who is dealing with a lot of horrible things in his life. And also some other characters who come in along the way. If you don't know, or you're not a musical theater person, definitely check out the musical version of this. Lily's Eyes is one of the most gorgeous musical theater songs in all of musical theater. So if you haven't heard it, check it out. Oh, and also How Could I Ever Know, which is Lily's song. all beautiful, beautiful, beautiful music in this. So, and this is a story that I have loved since I was a little girl. Our next book is The Flashback for the Lincoln Project by Dan Gutman. If you remember, we did get another one of these from the series. It was the one about Pompeii in our last book outlet haul, which I will link in the description box, along with all other links I talked about before. But this is the first one, and these kids have to go back in time and capture images of Abraham Lincoln giving his famous Gettysburg Address. So we are doing a lesson or a unit or a full year study on the presidents. We're doing 1 or 2 presidents a week for the entire school year. So I figured that this was something fun that Parker could read about independently around the time we were discussing Abraham Lincoln, just as some fun reading on his part. And this one only has that little mark right there. And we are finally at the last book, y'all. I didn't know we would make it. Woo, man, I'm sweating. This box was full and overflowing, and now I can throw it on the ground. The last book that we have from this haul is the Spiderwick Chronicles, Book 1, The Field Guide by Tony D. Terralizzi and Holly Black. And I know that this is a very famous series, but I don't really know anything about it. But it looks fun. So that is our last book. Okay, so that is it for this haul. Pretty sure our lighting is doing something funny. I'm really sorry. It's hard. You guys who are creators who also have kids or jobs or anything outside this will understand how difficult it is to find time to film. So it's pretty dark out, so I think our lighting is doing something funny. I really apologize. I can't film it again. So there will be a part 2 of this video. My mom also took advantage of this sale, and so she had some things to share with us as well, which we are really excited for. She found a lot of really fun activity type books, which I will be sharing in our next video. And then I also have one last big giant haul because once again, my mother, the queen of Facebook Marketplace, found us a steal. You will not believe what we got for free. So please keep or subscribe to our channel so you can get those notifications when those videos go live. Also, I'm not sure how much of that you can see in the frame, but if you'll notice, the top shelf of this bookshelf here is empty. So you know what that must mean. I am insane and have started the library project, and so my entire house is covered in books. If that's what you thought that meant, then you are right. But that means that you have that video to look forward to in the very near future. So thank you so much again for watching. We totally appreciate it more than we can even explain to you, and we will see you next time. Bye!